Hey guys, welcome back to our little corner of the internet. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, and this Monday is a perfect start to the week. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? So do your own research, look into things as you need to verify for yourself. This is for entertainment purposes only. We're just trying to have fun here. So let's play nice and let's get to it. And I need to replace my batteries, but the magic exists.
Nigga all the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck? You served Jared?
All the time. I knew the nigga. Like I knew the nigga.
Do you feel a little responsible for some of the shit?
Hell no.
No, with us, you know, we was in Milwaukee, we was at before that nigga moved over there, we was on the corner, it was called the Hill downtown. It all went up on a hill. And it was on 24th and Kilbourne. That's where we was at. And when he moved over there, we was just thinking that we thought he was the police at first. He was all clean cut and shit, walking back and forth from the chocolate factory he was working. We didn't know who the fuck this nigga was, you know what I'm saying? So one day I asked him. He came up and was nervous because, you know, he was like, I said, hey man, what you doing over here, man? He said, my father got an apartment around the corner. He was stutter, so when he was nervous, he'd say shit twice. And I said, okay, well, you know, you look like, you know, cause I knew he was too old to be a student in Marquette. I knew he was too clean to be a hype. So what the fuck this nigga doing over here? He don't look like the police, but he might be a motherfucking, you know, we had all kind of spots around there. You know, we had a spot in his building. You know what I'm saying? So then I started seeing the nigga like he was hanging out with these dudes and they would want to buy drugs from us and my niggas would give it to him, and like, it was just nothing. It was just like serving niggas, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this nigga get high. All right, cool, this nigga get high. That's what we was on.
Yeah. Where was you at when you seen the news clip?
It wasn't no news clip, nigga. I was on the phone arguing with my ex on the payphone. Then all I see helicopters and shit. And I'm thinking, we ain't none of us around here serving that much for no motherfucking helicopters and shit to be coming. I'm like, wait the fuck a minute, who is this nigga they going after? Because it was apparently like you seen news trucks and shit like that. So I was like, okay, they ain't after none of us. So now I want to know what the fuck going on. Mother chick little crackheads, I'm like, that motherfucker was eating people. I said, what? Who, Jeff? And he didn't go kidnap no motherfucker. They was coming to him, but they weren't leaving.
So, I mean, niggas was just being able to disappear. Nobody figured out.
We was in the hood, dog. We didn't give a fuck. We wasn't looking for that. We didn't really pay attention to it. So we never thought nothing like that was going on, bro. Nothing. And that fucked me up for a while, man, because I knew what we was into and we could have got him if we knew it.
Right.
Like we knew that would have never made the news. Would have been fucked up.
Yeah.
And any motherfucker that was in the way with this nigga, even though it was by himself,
right,
it would have been so bad that niggas would have been taking out niggas that didn't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
You was with this nigga?
All right, you get the idea. So that's wild to hear from somebody who just knew somebody who was capable of something like this. I know there are lots of people out there, but this guy acted on it. Dahmer was one for the books, right? It's why he's one of our time's most talked about serial killers. So wild. What a crazy experience to have helicopters and to have this guy get busted that you saw and spoke with and interacted with. Is crazy. And I feel bad because he clearly feels like he could have done something had he known, but you never know. You're never going to know that stuff. So scary. So this is a story, but it's also like a PSA warning. we're not, just like the last one, it got a little, you know, we're going to stop it, but it's important.
I have never once in all of my time of using this app complained about a brand or a company because it would take them doing something completely immoral for me to even bring it up. But the experience that I just had with Airbnb is beyond me insane. So grab your popcorn, do your makeup, whatever you want to do, listen to this story, because if you're a woman that uses Airbnb to travel alone, or you're a man, doesn't even matter. It's unsafe for everybody. But speaking from experience, you might want to reconsider using Airbnb. Like, I will never use Airbnb again after this. Let me paint the scene. So I had to go to New York for a funeral. Already not a fun time, but I get to my Airbnb and there's the cleaning lady. She's still there. Even though this goes against their policies of having someone in the unit upon entry, I didn't care about this. I was just like, finish your job, whatever, la la la. And I jump into the bed in the Airbnb and I start looking at TikToks, and then 10 minutes later, she's gone. 10 minutes pass and I hear the rustling of a doorknob. I hear someone trying to get into a unit. Mind you, this is a big house and it's a duplex, so there are a few units in this place. I don't even know how many. So I just immediately assumed that someone was trying to get into one of the other units based on how old the house was and how hollow it was. I just didn't think anything of it. And then I hear beep, 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 and I'm like, that sounds a lot like someone typing in a code to unlock a door. So I go out into the hallway of the Airbnb, and what do I find? It is a 6'5" beefy dude. Scary looking, okay? Any man would be scary looking in this situation, but he was like all on his own scary looking. So I'm trying not to freak out, but I'm like, hey, what's up? What are you doing here? And he says, I'm looking for my ID. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not the host. I think you should call the host about this. You have to leave. And I'm still being nice, but he's now in the apartment with the door shut behind him, not leaving. And he's telling me, well, can you just go look? Can you just go look for my ID? I walk backwards into the living room because I don't want to turn my back to this dude. And I'm looking in the apartment for his ID. And I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, it's not here. You have to call the host. And again, you got to leave. He pauses. He looks at me up and down. And then he's like, are you sure that it's not here? Now, I don't know what the fuck you're trying to get at, dude, but like, you need to leave. I was like, at that point, I was freaking out, and I was basically just like backing him into the door and opening it up on my own to get him out. And by the grace of God, after 10 minutes of telling this man, this stranger, to leave the Airbnb, he finally leaves. I immediately call the host. She is not only unapologetic, but she then tells me that, oh, she doesn't change the code to the back door because there's a chain lock. Does it look like there's a chain lock on this door? I don't know, I could only tell because there was a stranger in my fucking Airbnb. So basically what she was saying, what she was admitting, was that anybody that has ever stayed at this Airbnb has had access to this Airbnb at any time on any given day. So I immediately leave. I already feel unsafe. I'm like, this is 10 minutes into being here. Like, I have no idea what could happen at night. I'm freaking out. It's not a nice part of upstate New York that I'm staying in. So I leave and I immediately contact Airbnb support. Why they call it support, I have no clue at all. If their job is to make you frustrated, gaslight you, and make you exhausted, and to the point where like you just completely give up on getting a refund or getting a hotel, they're really, really, really good at that. And I guess they're really good at that even in scenarios where they have violations of their own policies that go against your rights for having safety and privacy in an Airbnb. So 6 hours later, after arguing with Airbnb support, they finally agree to put me up in a hotel. It's now 9 o'clock at night, mind you. It is 20 degrees in upstate New York, and I just consider my...
Okay, yada, yada, yada. So ultimately, I will spare you the last minute and a half of this clip of this whole thing. She argued with them until they gave her a hotel, and then when she went to the hotel, they said they weren't going to pay for it. So bad job, Airbnb. I think... what a terrible policy for people who have homes or whatever they may have, domiciles of some sort on Airbnb, to not change those codes. And looking through the comments of this, it seems like no one who does Airbnb ever changes the codes. So of course people are like, well, just go to leave a review and put the, you know, the actual address, because you know how you can't always see it, and put the code, so they'll have to change it. This would only work if after every single time somebody's doing that. But yeah, so the moral of the story is that beware of Airbnb, because a lot of people do not ever change these codes. They are just the same. So anybody who has ever stayed there has access. And clearly in this person's case, and I'm sure others, they use it. However, for the most part, people are usually passing through when they stay at Airbnbs. They don't stay like up the road. So odds are they won't be back, if that makes you feel better. But you could also just steer clear of the risk.
Somebody tell me what this white stuff is. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not melting. Very warm coffee at this point. It's warm. Look at that. That should be gone. It's just... What the fuck is that? This one caught my attention. You could Google that yourself right now. ChatGPT, check it out yourself. There are patents for this shit. Between the weird fog concealing all the Dior bags and the snow situation, I'm really starting to understand why this man disappeared. I feel like the closer we get to decode this entire matrix, the harder the evil side will push back. This is Jacobo Greenberg. He is a doctor of physics, and he bridged two most fascinating worlds together. The world of Indian medicine men and shamans and quantum physics. Figured out how to manipulate reality. 12 hours later, he vanished without a trace. You can verify this shit. Ask ChatGPT, ask Google, ask your mom, ask whoever the fuck you want. All his research, gone. They did the same thing to Nikola Tesla. At the root of all of this is very basic information. If you're vibrating at 250 or lower, that is exactly where you can be controlled, where you will go to work, you will come home, you will fight with your wife, and you will be miserable. When you get above this, love, joy, these vibrations, you can't be touched at these vibrations. Something magical happens. I know this video is about the weird snow and the weird fog, but I believe this all ties together. Get a hold of your own reality. Not all weird hippie science. There's quantum physics that backs this up. If you silence your mind, you could do fucking anything. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that on the quantum level, you can design your own reality, and it really is true. I'm a perfect example. I got kicked out of the 10th grade, I went to jail, and I shouldn't have a fucking penny. But here I am, a 5,600 square foot house, a wife, 5 kids, a dog. Come on, Butters. This is a GX 460. That's an ES 350. And this is where I live. I love it here. Reminders are all over my house. Understand the language of money. It's currency. It's flowing like a river. These are fish.
Yeah, all that other stuff aside, boasting about all of this stuff, I mean, stuff is just stuff, but the message remains. It's about the frequencies. Although I don't understand how he was tying that into the snow thing, which is the point that I wanted to show you, is this snow stuff is just getting out of hand. You see videos of people trying to burn it. You see just, it's not reactive as snow is. I mean, why didn't that snow melt? Why did it just ball up? What is this stuff coming from the sky? It's not cold. It's not snow. I mean, right now here, it's snowing and it's cold and it's snow and it melts. But I have seen so many videos like this. It's hard to ignore what is going on up there. Hey guys, just a reminder, I make these videos every day, Monday through Friday. So if you're enjoying the content as much as I love creating it, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join this amazing community and stay up to date with all the latest videos and news. So let's get right back to it. Hi. I love saying hi after that, like it's a different, just because I did that earlier.
It's the picture, but no one knows who this was.
Okay, this is weird. We gotta start from
I know it's dark, I know it's bedtime, but does something feel kind of strange with this photo? Right, so this picture was taken by Bonnie Mathis. She was a backpacker who was staying in the White Rose Hostel in Germany in 2014. She took this photo outside of her room to send to her boyfriend after she was like repeatedly hearing noises from the hallways, having not even realized what it was she caught. Before we jump in, I have got to say thank you to you guys for listening to my podcast, Creep Time the Podcast.
Okay, yada yada.
The 18th top true crime podcast in the
Congrats, buddy.
18th top true crime podcast in the entire country. That's a big deal. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't already, please go click the link in my bio. Now, don't forget, Bonnie was backpacking alone through this, and she stopped contacting her family. Eventually, that brings German police back to the hostel where she was last seen. Reporting I saw, she was found to be partially eaten, but it didn't make sense because her bedroom door was still locked from the inside. Then they found this photo, finding this. Someone had been watching her from inside the walls. I do enhance the picture, but no one knows who this was.
I don't know if you guys have your brightness up enough, but there is a person in that vent watching. It's scary. It's horrifying. This is exactly the kind of reason that I've never actually stayed at a hostel. I've known people who have, and they've sent pictures, and it looks like a grand old time, but I also saw that movie, and I'm not interested in partaking in any fashion. It's just scary. The fact that she was partially eaten. Like, what is going on? God, you never know. Although, I don't know, even if I plan on staying at a hostel, if that was the photo. I
know it's dark.
This is the place. I'm probably not going to actually stay here it looks like you're shoved in a basement. There's nothing. Again, I've never been to a hostel, so I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but this looks horrifying. Not to mention the face.
All right, so this picture was
Let's
What happens?
Yo, this guy, bro, I swear, bro.
ready.
So before I say anything, I'm just gonna introduce what I'm gonna talk about first. So basically, I'm gonna talk about el espejo negro.
What, the black mirror?
Is one of the most dangerous things that you could have in your fucking room, which is basically your TV.
What? Why?
So your TV, right? It's black, but it also reflects. So they're saying that that's the most dangerous thing you could have facing your bed because of how much shit happens inside the TV. On top of that, it's a mirror, bro. So it's like two portals in one, bro. Like it has static and shit, and it has a mirror itself. So they're saying that if you sleep with the TV facing you, you have bad sleep, that you have drained energy, because beings from other dimensions, bro, are constantly feeding off your energy through that portal. And then also another thing is having a chair in your room.
A chair?
So if you have a chair in your room, any entity takes that as an invitation to stay there and sit down in your room, bro.
I never heard of that. What the I like you don't have a mirror, but obviously everybody has a
TV facing them, bro.
Yeah. No wonder I don't get good sleep. Actually thinking about it now.
I mean, that's what it could be. That's just the whole speculation.
You know what I'm about to do?
What?
I'm about to
Put like something over your TV?
No. I'm gonna sleep with the TV on, but with static.
Why the fuck would you do that?
I'm gonna see what the fuck happens.
Yo, this guy, bro.
People mess with stuff they just have no business messing with. I want to cover my TV. Although usually I have something on that I fall asleep to, if I'm being perfectly honest. Anytime the TV is off, that just the reflection is too something about it. I don't know if it's the TV that I have, but it's like this weird satin sheen kind of to it that I swear. And especially if like my cat hops up, oh my God. I could see it, but I don't see it. And I'm always like, does that match what's in the reflection? I can't mess with that stuff.
Explaining to do what was going on in October 1582. I seen somebody on here say if you open your Apple calendar and scroll to October 1582, we got a whole 11 days missing. And you know I stay going down them rabbit holes, so I went down that rabbit hole and watch this. Now when you get there, if you look at October from right here, it ain't nothing different. They got all the days it's supposed to be. So I dug a little deeper. But when you click on October, if you look right there, look at that. Look what it say. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 15. Where all them days go? Where did all them days go? You got a whole 11 days missing. 1582. So what happened that 11 days was missing in 1582? And who was clocking time in 1582? That's what we need to find out. Who was clocking the time? Because apparently you was drunk on your shift. You had to be drunk on your shift because you missed 11 days, baby. 11. Now I got so many questions. I need so many answers. So what I need you to do is, if anybody know, because you know TikTok be knowing. If you know, let me know. Because now I want to know. Explain.
I could tell you, kind of. It's not a great explanation, but it's the explanation. So supposedly in 1582, this is when the Gregorian calendar was introduced by Pope Gregory the 13th to replace the Julian calendar. Then they had to skip 10 days in order to realign the calendar with the seasons. I'm sorry, but this sounds highly suspect because 10 days ultimately are not going to make that big of a difference. It just seems like there's something more to this. It's a very drastic step to just delete days, because ultimately that means we are at the very least 10 days wrong. Oh, I guess I have to read this too. That's okay. So Marilyn Monroe, rest her soul, her body went missing for 6 hours after she died, which is very suspect. I never knew that. I'm just going to turn the music all the way down so it doesn't cut me out too. Even though it was supposedly an overdose that she died from, her face had bruising that was never explained. I mean, of course, you could have fallen over. That could be an explanation, but missing for 6 hours is a little odd. The contents of her stomach it was just empty, and there were no trace of any sort of pills or anything in her system. So to say that it was an overdose. And then, of course, her body had signs of other traumas with unknown DNA. So they never actually figured out who it was that took her, but there are all sorts of theories out there that you can definitely go investigate if you so choose. But I think that we all guess the same ones. And we'll leave that there so the algorithm doesn't hate us. This is just a little one, but listen, turn up your sound.
Taxi. Hey.
So I have a tendency, obviously they have horses. They could also have goats or any number of animals that could have made this sound, but it seems a little real to me. There's no weird overpowering background music. There's no dramatization. It's just this person and their horses. And then that weird, it sounded like a hey first and then the laugh. And the horses, as she pointed out, stopped just dead in their tracks. Animals know what's up. And she thought it was weird. I think it sounds weird. What do you think? Could be goats.
What if I told you theme parks aren't built for entertainment, but to harvest human emotional energy for something far darker? Insiders claim these parks were designed with precision, engineered layouts based on ancient energy harvesting geometry, a concept known as ley grid amplification. Hidden beneath the parks are alleged emotion siphoning infrastructures, massive underground complexes powered by psychological energy extraction systems. The rides, parades, and fireworks aren't just for fun. They're engineered to heighten emotions like joy, fear, and nostalgia, creating a spike in human bioelectric energy. This emotional output is absorbed through high-frequency transmission nodes, disguised as park decorations, towers, and even castle spires. Former employees have spoken of restricted off-limits zones where data servers allegedly monitor emotional throughput. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a joke for entertainment purposes only. What if I told you theme?
But what if it's not? But what if it is? My 2 cents here is that I doubt every single amusement park or theme park type thing is utilizing some intensely advanced technology to do this, but I would believe that it is meant for energy harvesting in some way, at least in some places. I buy that. Here's a happy clip for you guys. This is just people enjoying life, you know? Look at this. Look at these 2 sweet ladies. How adorable are they? I guess that's where the dance like no one's watching comes in. Because when you stop caring so much about what everybody else thinks, that's when you get to have the good time. That's when the fun happens because you're not all self-conscious. You're just like in the moment. And we talk about that a lot, but I think it's really important. And part of my main message is just trying to be present and enjoying the moment because that's all we have. We just have moments and we just have interactions, and why not choose the good ones? Because it's up to us. It's up to us what we allow in. It's up to us what kind of experiences we want to have in life, in anything that comes in our path. We do have some control, at least in how we act. So that's my message. Like I said, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. It was very restful and helped me do a lot of things around the house that I realized I had been slacking on. So thank you. And it's going to be an awesome week. Have a beautiful night. Good night to my grandma. Good night to my family. Good night to you guys. I love everyone. Signing off.